to another episode of Grayscale Painting. This time you see my face. Decided to run the camera for a little bit. Okay, if you look down at the palette, I just have three colors: purple, dark zinc purple, cat yellow, and titanium white. We're going to play around with different variances of gray today. Alright, will I colorize this later on? Probably. But as of right now, we'll deal with the different values of gray. Warm gray, cool gray, but not the typical black and white mixed gray. Alright, so what I did was take two colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, yellow and violet or purple. Okay, we're gonna mix them together, add white. It's gonna, well, the violet and purple will cancel each other out, turn kind of brownish, but the white will give it that grayish look to it. It'd be a neutral color. With a neutral color, other colors can be introduced to it once it's dry, and it will take on the hue or the tint of that said color. Okay. Hey, Sonia, how you doing? And once again, this is I believe 12 by 16 inch watercolor paper, glued to foam board, and I've got the blue tape here. I'm going to just do sky here, and then we'll deal with the water and stuff later on. But remember, different variances. Of gray. Alright, let me know if you can hear it. Every once in a while. Now the mic could be going, I might have to change the battery, but if it's coming in very strong right now, let me know. I can't really continue on until I know that you guys can hear me real well. So, let me know, give me a heads up. Sound far away. That's not good. That means that, oh, I know why. I'm sorry. I know why. I bet you I don't sound far away now. I tend to forget to, because I have three cameras, each one has audio, so I gotta put it to the one that has the microphone. Sorry. How's that one sound? I should be pretty clear now. Yeah, I have mic inputs on each camera, so I got to put it on the correct one. So that was my bad. Thank you for letting me know, because I sure would have went on with the whole program without knowing that I had the wrong mic on. Okay, now that we got that settled, I appreciate that, because I would not have known until later on. So if you guys see my eyes kind of move from this camera and look upward, it's because I'm looking at the 45-inch screen. Okay, no extra charge. I appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna take it's a 1-inch brush. I'm gonna go into my glycerin, which is just barely off camera to you guys. So it's up here on the top beside me, and I'll just give a nice thin coat of glycerin to this. Now, glycerin is fairly thick because it's been in a cool place, and that's fine. As it warms up, it will be watery, more lucid, but I'm not looking for that at this particular moment. It's going to get like that as it the heat warms it up. I got the heater on, so, but it's being put on very thick, and I'll probably wipe a lot of this off because I don't need too much of it. But it's just to keep the acrylic paint wet longer so I can do the effects. Hey, Marilyn. Now, I have plenty on here. I don't need that much. So what I'm going to do is take a paper towel and wipe some of that off, because I don't need too much. It's not a very large space to warrant all of that. So I'll get a small paper towel here and just wipe a bit of that off. Just like that, just wipe it. There. I don't need too much of this stuff on. Okay, so let's make our batch of gray. Remember, I'm taking two opposite colors on the color wheel, yellow and purple. All right, so we'll get a little bit of, let's get a little bit of purple. We'll put it right here, get a little bit of yellow and put it in there. We'll mix that together. It'll cancel each other out and make this really brownish color. We take a little titanium white and boom, we got a nice warm gray going on here. Okay, and depending on how much white you use and how much yellow, the warmer the color will be. We get a little more white there. Okay, we'll lighten it up a bit. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so now we got a nice warm gray. And we're gonna put that in for the sky. And we'll kind of pop it in there like that. And put it right in there. I'm gonna add a little more purple. Get some yellow in there. As you can see, it's starting to turn that brownish again. Okay, now we already got white in there. And we're gonna add some of that. Just like that. And we'll put some of that right here in the corner. And slap it in there like that. We get a little bit of white, throw it in there like that. Different variances, once again, of that gray. Okay, all right. What I'm gonna do is just take a mop brush here and circular motions. Now it's still fairly wet, so I can kind of blend this, and I don't want any hard, I want a soft blend. So we'll just concentrate on softly blending all this. So I'm adding a little pressure to it because I don't want any streaks or brush strokes. So this is not the end of the clouds, but it's just a nice little foundation to play with here. Now I wiped off a lot of the glycerin so it doesn't drip and run. But this is, once again, it's like a nice little foundation to do what I'm going to do next, which it's just to add in details for these. Okay. All right. No direction or anything. It's just a soft blend all over the place. Okay. Okay. Let's take we'll take a flat brush. I really would prefer a filbert. I can see one over there. I would prefer a filbert, really. Okay, let's go into some white, and we're gonna play with this, different hues and variations of gray. And I'm just going to start adding in different flavors of gray for the clouds. Some will be lighter, some will be darker. When I start doing some of this with more opaque colors, you'll see as we go along. And some of this will be darker, some of this will be lighter, but it's really just me playing around with all the tones, make them run into each other. Go into some white, mix it in there. Getting different variations of stuff going on here. We'll kind of pat some of that in there. Just scumble a lot of patterns in there. See, I might want the intensity of a color, but I don't necessarily really want the edge of it. Go into the purple, pop it in there. Get some yellow. You really want to concentrate on that grayish look. And this is a warm gray. Pop some of that in there like that. Go on in different spots. A little purple. Mix it in there. A bit of yellow. I'm just comfortable doing all of this with a filbert. Good to see you, Marilyn. Take some of that white, go in that same color. And you're just lightening the hue. And see, you just blend in. These light colors. Now I'll occasionally glance up at the TV and see how all of that is starting to look. Because remember, if I choose to add color to this, you're going to see all sorts of hues and variations and all sorts of interesting, fun things popping off in there. And if I see it getting a little purple, slap some of that yellow in there and kind of bring that grayish back. Now it will appear to be like a weird kind of brown, but it's actually, once again, a very warm gray. Okay, let's kind of pop some of that up around in here. Let's kind of bring some of that up in here. As I get different variances of these colors, then I'll start to highlight a lot of this with just a wee bit of white in spots, bright white. And I really want to tighten up some of these color variations a little bit. Looks like a very tumultuous sky. That's what's happening there. I can kill off some of that brightness on some of them. Okay, I see that we got a nice little spot there. I kind of like that, but it's kind of in the wrong area. I want to maybe if I had that somewhere in the center here, I could have worked with it a little bit better. So let's get a little bit of yellow, a little bit of purple here. So if I had that, maybe somewhere up around in this area in here. And basically it's just me surrounding a lighter area full of dark. So I can switch up a little bit there. And even though I like that, it will disappear. I don't want it there. Get a little bit of white in there, and add some variances to that. Okay. Now that I've got a bunch of that happening, I will get a smaller brush and some brighter paint, and we'll pick out some highlights. I'll use a slightly smaller filbert. We can go right into our white here, and we'll just kind of get some really contaminate that white there. Okay, and we'll start to kind of play around a little bit. We'll kind of pat this out a little. I kind of want its brightness around in here. Okay, and then I'll pat what appears to be some kind of a glow there. Now I'll mess with this later on. I kind of want it right in there like that. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Let's go from here, and we'll kind of give some of that brightness like this. We'll keep the bottom kind of sharp, and we'll fade out the top, which will give a little credence to that glow. And what I'm doing right now, what you see me doing, is moving this stuff in a way to where it kind of accentuates that glow, and just using various tones of gray. I'll wipe off my brush, and we'll fade out the rest of this, just like so. Get a little more white, go into this warm gray, and just mix it up in there, contaminate the white. We'll add a little bit in here like this, and maybe a little bit up in here. Okay, and I'll just wipe off the brush real quick, and we'll just fade the tail end of this right off here. Same thing here. I can tell my glycerin's getting a little tacky, which is cool. go on the other side up here, and we'll just kind of do short letter M's there, and we'll fade the tail end out. Get a little touch of white, go in there in this gray area here, and do more of the same. Come up around here, strengthen that, and just kind of, once again, just fade out all of this. Contaminate the white paint with that warm gray. This is a purple and yellow mix with titanium white that's giving this effect. All right. Oh, let's kind of dump it in here like this, and then we'll just kind of play with it all up in there like this. No hard edges. You can put them as close or as far away as you feel you need to, okay? And blend it into that dark area there. Yeah, a little bit more white. I'm gonna dip my tip of my brush into some glycerin to activate some of this darker gray in there. Alrighty. Just kind of put that there. You don't have to make your cloth as sharp or as blatant. You don't have to make it as bright. See these edges? You don't have to make them as sharp. Your main thing is to really just gather a like this. So we get something like that, right? It's just really to, I could put it up here, fade that out. Gather a nice sharp edge, and once again, you're just gonna fade out. Like that. We'll come over here to the bottom there. And you see it just starts to kind of fill up there. All right. Okay. Let's take a wider brush. We'll take this guy here, and what I'm going to do now, I can't really use tape because tape will kind of peel this stuff off, but let's just say I'll take a little dot of white. We'll put the white right there. You guys can see that. All right. Okay, let's take some white here, and we'll just kind of pop it in here like this. I'll contaminate it a little bit, but I'm going to use the side of the brush. I could use tape for this part, but like I said, well, here, let me show you something, because you guys might want to try this eventually. I'll take some tape. Okay. Now the sticky part of the tape, you don't want to stick too much, so I'll just kind of put it on my towel here and get some of that stickiness off the tape. Okay. And it kills some of that. So all them little hairs get underneath here, and so hopefully the paint won't stick to this. much. Okay, so you kind of dirty up the sticky part of the tape. All right, very lightly, very lightly. Let's say you want something like kind of right there. That's cool. All right, and I'll just take my brush very lightly, very lightly. Get some rays going there. Very light, very light. Just kind of dry brush it on there, just like that, and you just peel it off. There go one. Okay. You're better off doing the dry brush style like I'm doing it right now. It looks, you know, a bit more convincing. Let's do it right here. Okay. Yeah. And you do the same thing. Just keep rubbing away at it. A little bit of will come off the brush. Okay, if you don't feel it coming off, get some more, but it's like a dry brush. You want a lot of this paint almost off your brush, and it's a very, 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 very light strokes. Okay, I don't necessarily have to go straight to that dot. I can come back a little ways and maybe come here and do it. They can be thin, thick, stronger intensity. Okay, and just lightly peel it off. Okay. My bad. Oh, let's put one right about here. Always gotta go where that dot is. All right, so you start to see, you know, how it looks there. Remember, I can get away with this because I'm taking off a lot of this paint. Maybe a little bit right here. Maybe I want one a little thicker here. Gets a little more intense, a little wider out this way. Remember, it's much like a dry brush. All right, you can kind of see how it's starting to form and shape up here. Once again, this is just one of many ways to do your sunbeams. So maybe I can start one here like this, just light one like this, right? And then you come back and you can continue somewhere else with a thicker beam there. So it doesn't have to, it can start somewhere and end somewhere else. Okay. Really up to you how you want to do this. You don't have to have it as intense. Like I said, hopefully this is a nice little idea for you if you want to do it like this. All right. Pretty fun to do. Make some of that go away a little bit. Just like that. All right. So it's up to you how you want it. All right. Okay. Once again, it's, believe it or not, a gray, very warm gray. All right. Before I move on and take this off, let's do something down here. Let's get rid of some of this. All right. Here, I guess I can go for right now, just for example. We'll go basic black and white down there. So I'll pop a little bit of black here. Get a little bit of white. We'll put the white here. All right. So everybody pretty much knows what that color is. We'll just get it darker though. Okay. All right. We'll deal with this. We'll I'll put a little glycerin in there. And we'll make it fairly solid down here. Obviously, this is the basic form of gray that we're very familiar with, black and white. We'll thicken it a little bit. Wrap around in here. Get a little bit of glycerin in there, because now we're just going to kind of fade that out a little. We're gonna smooth that out. We're gonna fade this a little. Now what we're gonna do after this is take, I kind of like what I see here, so we're gonna utilize that. I gotta be careful because water will take this glycerin off like a hot knife through butter. I'm only going to use a bit of this glycerin and kind of do it this way if I can get away with it. Let's get some glycerin all over this brush here. And we're going to do that again. I just need a little bit of this color on the bottom part of the brush. And we're going to come this way. Keep stirring it. I'm gonna keep going back and forth because I want a nice little fade here. Let's go back into it. Let's get some color right here on the end of the brush. Go back and forth. I want it clear on the top and the color on the bottom so it just fades away. And I'll keep going back and forth just like this. Okay, so you got a nice little gradual mix there. Okay. And I'm going to take this water. Remember, water and glycerin, kind of a dangerous mix. So I'm going to go on the top with this brush and kind of blend it. Look at this. And just continuously go back and forth. Nice little blend there. Just blend that. Just like that. Just kind of make it go away. Okay. All right, let's go into our black for a second and go right into this gray. We're just a deeper gray, really. And right here on the bottom, very bottom, right here on the bottom, we can get it kind of deep right in here. And I just need a little bit of it to be that deep. It's got to be a little darker than that. even though I'm mixing it in here, it won't be totally black. It's just continuously be a very dark form of gray. Okay. And just here on the bottom. And then I'll gradually kind of fade it there. All right. Okay. And Donna, hello. Okay. So we have the purple and yellow mix with titanium white. Obviously you got the black and white mix, different variation of gray. Okay. All right. So you got warm gray and very neutral gray. The basic black and white, black and white gray. All right. Okay. So we used yellow and purple. All right. Well, let's bring some blue in here. This is Prussian blue, very dark. The opposite color of blue is orange, so we got some cat orange. Once again, two color opposites, all right. It's gonna give you another variance of gray. More of a cool gray, as a matter of fact. Let's take, before I ended up doing that, let me do something before I do that. Let's go into, I need a fan brush. So hold on. I'll use this one, this is fine. Let's get some rocks, some pebbles going here. I'm gonna go straight into the black. And let's put it right here for right now. And let's get a little bit of water. So we'll get the dark ones, dark rocks, right in here. Okay, and we'll just get some nice splattering of some rocks going on in here. Don't worry if it gets up here, it's all right. You're not gonna pretty much see it anyway by the time it's all said and done. But we're gonna kind of play around and get some of the dark ones way up in here somewhere. But mainly up down here. You can pop a couple in there, but really down in here. Get some of them going. Okay. Clean that off. Let's go into our white. Put it right here, right next to it. Get a little bit of water. Nope, don't do glycerin in this stuff. Just, you're better off with the water. Okay. All right. I'll go a little further away and a couple of little splatters like that. Just like that. Come on. And we'll kind of bring some of them up here a little bit. Don't worry about all of that. Okay. Let's mix some of that together. And get some gray ones in there. Yellow. We'll put some gray ones in there too. You'll probably barely see these, but we'll pop them in there. Okay, and we gotta let that dry a little bit, and it will. We'll clean this up real quick. Okay, let's take a little bit of orange, a little bit of blue, two opposites. Oh, all right. Now you see the color is you see what color it is, right? Pretty odd for a pretty odd mix here. That blue and orange would turn into this weird green. It could be the wrong blue too. So it turns this funky green, which it shouldn't, because Prussian blue might be a wrong blue for it. So let me try something here. So that is very odd. It turns green. Okay, so that was Prussian blue. Let's try. I got a different blue in here. I gotta get in here and get it. Ah, do I gotta get up out of this chair to get this blue? The answer is yes. I gotta get up out the chair. Hold on. Okay, where are you? There you are, back here. Oh man. Okay, well, I had to get it. All right, well, try cobalt. I don't know what's in Prussian. I'm gonna have to find out. That makes it turn green, so we'll use cobalt blue. Cobalt blue and orange. Now this is craft paint, apple barrel blue. We'll put it right here. As you can see, it's a different flavor of blue. Let's get some orange. Put the orange right here. Get a little bit of blue. Let's see what this does. See if it browns out here. Same thing. Look at that. Well, almost. This one almost cancels out. Wow. Pretty neat. More blue. Interesting. Again, it depends on the orange too. This is cad red orange hue, so it might have went different if I used regular cad orange. But I think it's pretty fascinating that it would turn this funky green. So I got a feeling that I might use too much of one and not enough of one color, because now it's starting to brown out. But there you go. As you can see, it starts to cancel each other. As you can see by the color. That's pretty good. Pretty cool. I didn't want none of that green, but we'll dismiss that. I want that. All right. But as you see, it does cancel each other out. As a matter of fact, I may need more orange than anything. So a little bit of blue and much more orange. Like I said, they are opposite on the color wheel, and it kind of depends on the color, the power of that color. So I probably would have gotten a different look, a shade closer to that if I used more orange with the Prussian blue. But that's all right. This is the color you need right here that you're looking at right there. Now if I add white to that, all right, you're gonna get, now this is a cool gray as compared to what you see up here. we'll deal with that. That'll work. Yep, that'll work. We'll deal with this. Okay, we'll get rid of, I don't need this. We'll get rid of that. We'll deal with that gray. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of all of that. Okay, so we'll spread this out, bring it right here. Get rid of the other stuff. Okay, this we'll start adding in, we'll sub it for our water, more or less. All right, let's go into our glycerin. Our glycerin should be not exactly super warm, but warm enough. We're gonna peel this away. We more or less got our horizon line here. All right. We'll come up here, bring it as close to that horizon line as you can, and just work it downward. And we'll bring a little bit of it down here into the faded area of that basic gray, basic black and white there. I don't intend to go down any much further than that, so we'll just spread this right out. Okay. Get in there. Now, this color is very reflective, so you know, if you're using glycerin, you'll definitely be able to see it. Okay. And we're going to use this very odd greeny gray for the water here, and it's just a blanket covering right now. Get it as fairly close as you can. These different variances of what's represented as gray may throw you a little bit. Now I put plenty of glycerin on here, so it might run a little bit, but that's okay. But what I'm going to do with this brush is I swipe back and forth kind of vigorously. I want this as close to that horizon line as I can. And then down here I'll start to do the fade thing. Right down here it's gonna get lighter and lighter, because it's gonna kind of disappear into that faded gray there. Then we're gonna come out here just like that. I just need to really get that framework going for that. And then I'll get a little glycerin here so we can get a nice even fade of color right in here. Gradual, very gradual. So it kind of disappears. So you get to see some of that, the pebbles in that, what's represented as water anyway. Okay. All right, much like that. Okay. Kill some of that there. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, got this weird, funky kind of odd green gray. So warm gray, cool gray, and you got your neutral gray down here. All right. So we'll take some of this. Well, we'll add a little blue to it here. Add a little bit of blue to that. Deepen it a little bit here. I should really use a thinner brush for this. Yeah, I think I'm going to, because I see this one's not going to hold like that. We're going to get some quick motions of the water here. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush. I won't use this one. Let's use, we'll use the 1/2 inch here. And we're gonna bring it towards us. I might want to orange this up a little bit. Hold on. A little more orange on that, because I still wanted more of a brownie mix here. Okay, just keep mixing it. There we go. There we go. Of course, I ran out of white. There we go. Okay, we'll use this. All right, and we'll start putting in, we'll come in from the side, and we'll start putting in little motions of water lines in there. Tiny ones there. Get some more, and they're tiny. And you want them not to necessarily be too even. Have it a little darker, a little more activity on the edges, the water's edges. Okay, in the middle, you can lighten it up. So we're gonna take advantage, and we're gonna kind of, now you can do straight lines, you can chop them up. They're far away, but you want to give the look of movement. I'm turning my brush over. I gotta slide my head over so I can see exactly what I'm doing. Actually, I need more paint. Because you're still battling with the glycerin. The glycerin tends to spread. Okay. And keep, even though I'm doing little squiggles and curves, keep them horizontal. All right, don't go crooked. I'm gonna come down here, let's grab some more. Hey Gracie, how are you? I'm only gonna go so far down. Now, as I'm doing this, add a few little cute highlights in there. And what I'm going to do is just take some white and mix it into what you see already. So I'll take a little bit of, let's try this brush off real good. Take a little bit of white and come on right down in here. Contaminate that white. And believe it or not, every color that I'm using still, even this stuff, is still a neutral color. All right, we'll come in here and we'll add a little. Now you can take a little more brightness here. All right. Man, out here. You see I'm not going all the way to the edge. Not needed. You'll see why in a minute. Just like that. But you'll see why I'm doing it like this in 1 second. Hey, Sugar Plum. right in here. Now this brush maintains a pretty decent sharp edge. Now for what I can't see, I can look at the TV screen and see where I am. Because I really don't want my head to kind of disrupt you guys' view. I know it's getting pretty close. Something like that. All right. I'm not going to go too bright. I'm going to take advantage of that dot right there. Let's get a little bit of white. And we'll take this dot right here and we'll kind of take advantage of it and just make a sun out of it like that. And just kind of spread it around just like so. All right, it doesn't even have to be a full sun, but something like that. All right. Let's see, do I need any more of this? Yeah, watch. I'll just take it, go right across the top and give me a nice little separation right in here, right in here, right in here. A little bit of a line in there. Let's see if I can get some more. That might be enough. I'm hoping it'll be enough. We'll find out. Might not have done it. If I can't get it, that's okay. I don't think I can, no. All right, that's all right. I think it's because of the glycerin on the in the paint, but that's all right. No worries. No worries. We'll do it this way. Yeah, that when I get it. Like that. All right, I don't need a lot of that. Okay, let's take a fan brush. We'll take this guy. It'll be all right. And some water. And kind of stir it in there. Well, you do have two, don't you, Sugar Plum? All right. We'll come here and add some splatters right here in the center. And we'll kind of come down with it. Fairly close. We get it up to the top. Don't worry about splatters up here. They can just get wiped off. I'm not really worried about that. I'm not concerned about it, but just actually I can just kind of tap them up here. So we got a little splatters in here. A little glistening of the water in there like that. We'll wipe off some of that stuff up in here. It's all right. All right, so it kind of looks like that so far, right now. Okay. Let's see here. As I'm thinking, oh, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that before we add the palm trees. Let's get the rest of this white here. We'll spread it out like that. So we'll work some beach wavy frost stuff. Okay. We can start it probably right around in here. We'll go horizontal like this. Now, as I press down right? Kind of wave it across like so. Get another one. We'll do it again. I'll go horizontal. Just kind of wave it around like that. Just wave it around. Look at this, and I'll come back like that. Just kind of have some fun with it. I'm just pressing pretty hard, and then I'll just come out and come on back with it. But you see, look at the impression it gives already. All right, let's see. We'll do a little bit of something right in here. Come on out. Press again, and come on out like that. You know how many of these I can probably do. Once again, it's something to get accustomed to. And this is one of the ones you see me actually using my finger to press. I'll come out here. Look at this. Come on out here like that. Maybe you can continue another one up there like that. I'll just use the rest. I'll just kind of scrape it along, and we'll get one out here like this. Just like that. All right. But now you see the pebbles in the gravel, how they just gently go into the water line there. Now, it does look like the water is sort of deep back there, but if you start putting rocks in there, it brings the water level down. Okay. How about the same, Marilyn? Sometimes when I do the giveaways, you get pretty close. A number or two off. For those of you who don't know, I used to do quite a few giveaways, and Marilyn would come close. She would come close. Of course, I did have an auction, but of course, I put the auction on definitely the wrong day. You don't do an auction on Black Friday. I forgot. All right, even back here, I'll take the long blade here, and I'll just do a couple of very thin motion lines back here, just to accentuate the sun line here. Very tiny. I don't have to move it around. I just kind of angle the knife down to get some of those, some of that motion of the water lines in there. And it kind of also helps to flatten the water out a little bit too. Okay. It's all a perspective thing. They're tiny here, but they get a little larger as you come forward. But I don't need too many of them. All right, they'll start looking like waves too, because they'll start to break up. Okay. So it all depends on how much activity you want in there. Okay. Now that I wasn't planning, but it looks cool. I wasn't planning on this, but I can trail it a little bit. It'll look like a wave, like that. I wasn't planning on that. I can probably put one in here. So that's how you can cover up a mistake quite easily. I can break that up a little. I'll break it up a little bit there and make it look like a wave falling over. Just like that. And we can break it up here too. And break it up and then just trail it. Looks like a couple waves there. And we get something over there in the corner. All right, because you make it look like something's rolling in there. I can accentuate that a little bit better by adding, well, I really don't have anything to add. I got rid of it, but I can create something real fast. I'll just take a little bit of purple, a little bit of yellow. We'll just take this and brown it up real quick here. We'll just get away with it. We'll just use this. I can take this and just go underneath it a little bit, and it kind of accentuates all of that. There. Give me a nice little shadow there for that guy. A little bit of something in here too. We'll go up under here and just add a little shadow there. And keep it kind of horizontal there. So we got a little shadow for that wave there. Just like that. Okay. All right, I really don't have to do too much more of that. Yeah, Kathy, corner. Yeah, those were fun. Her, when I did them for her, yeah, they were great. They were great. All right, let's throw a palm tree in there. So once this is all dry, I more or less will probably colorize this thing. Believe it or not, it's not. It's just still variants of gray. You got a very warm gray, you got a cool gray, you got the normal black and white gray down here. So it's all different variations of gray, believe it or not. Okay, the palm tree, we'll do the basic black and white, considering that's what we're using anyway. And it's not dark enough. Need something a wee bit darker than this. But we'll deal with it right now. Okay. Little touch of glycerin. I want this deeper gray. All right. We'll pop this guy right here. Something up and around here. We'll kind of give it a little something here on the corner there. We'll just kind of, obvious. You can see it needs to be much darker than what you're looking at, but it will. I'll just fill it out a little bit, and we're gonna thicken it a little bit here, just like so. All right, so we got one there. This filbert, not really the best choice for doing them, but yeah, I'm already here with it. I'll get a little water, we'll thin this out a little bit. Like I say, this will be much darker. We'll play around with that. Not necessarily with a filbert though. Bad idea. A flat brush would do you better. I picked the filbert because it was the easiest to reach. Let's go back to our flat brush. And we need some more. We need some more black paint. Should be more than enough. I didn't intend to be on here this long, but it happens. We're taking this black paint, we're mixing it in with the gray, so it won't be totally black, but darn near close. All right, and here we go. Okay. All right. I'll get a little more fine-tuned in a second here. Okay. Hey, how are you doing, Diana? We're playing around with different variations and hues of gray. All right, I used purple and yellow. I used blue and orange. Why did I just do that? And so what you're looking at is just a variation of warm and cool gray. Down on the bottom is the basic neutral black and white gray, and that's what's on the palm tree. It's just a neutral black and white gray. This was orange and blue, yellow and purple, and black and white. And I will more likely colorize them. So I'm going to turn these things when it fully dries. Okay. I'm adding a lot of water to this black paint just to, there we go, get these guys going in here. Okay. So as I'm adding all of these long leaves in here in the corner, we're going to get some lighter ones and add them also. It's kind of a dance doing it this way because you don't want to add too much water. If you add too much paint, they starts to break up. So it's interesting, kind of a mix you have to get. I'm rolling the brush as I'm doing it. Okay. So it will look more convincing once I add the lighter tones in here. Of course, I don't have enough. Actually, I have no white. So let's pop in a little batch right there. I don't know what time I'll be on to continue this because I have to give this a chance to totally dry. So once again, I'm just mixing water with white. Some of these are going to turn gray anyway because of the wet paint that's already in there. And so we'll just kind of add, pop them in there periodically like this. Grab some more. Get these, if you can get the white in there, get them in as bold as you can before it starts to gray out on you. Okay. And remember to go in different directions. Throw some in the other direction. Okay. All right, I'll take some of this and we'll pop a couple of these, like just kind of periodically, you know, get little batches of them out here. Like that, and kind of, they get a little smaller on the edges there. Like that. If you need some that's a little darker, put some darker ones in there. If you must, mix them up there a little bit. I will go in a straight black and I'll put it right here. Get it really watery. Try the best you can. You're using a script liner, so you're not going to get all that water on it, but try the best you can. And you throw a few in there like that. Maybe a little something over here, maybe off the screen here, just like that. Okay, Just gives a little more activity going on back here. We'll get some dark ones right here on the bottom. It's good to see you guys. Almost like old home week. All right, I don't think I need to add any. Well, yeah, I do. I must be getting a little weary. Okay. How can you have palm trees with no palms on them? That's just bad for business. Okay, right around in here. Let's kind of, we'll kind of get one going here. Right here. Got one come up that way. So I'm just putting in the, you know, maybe put one down here and something like that. All right, we'll do another one. We'll do one right here. It comes down like that. We'll do one here. He got one flopping the other way back there like that. Maybe the wind's kind of blowing them, so maybe they're all going toward that direction, something like that. All right. Okay. We'll do the fan brush thing. I'll use a raggedy fan brush. They give interesting patterns. Okay, we'll go into some of this loose, this paint here. You could do this with any variation of brush you would like. It gives a different stroke pattern, so it's really up to you. I'll just take it and very loosely, I'll just kind of like that. Okay, like I said, each one will give its own unique pattern. Up to you and how you want them to look. Okay. Usually if you feel it break apart, add a touch more water to it. It all comes with just experience of doing these, which ironically I don't, not anymore anyway. I'm really trying to use this the tip of the brush there. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. But it's all up to you how much of it you want to use. Sometimes you need a little more black paint. All depends on how dark you want the leaves. I had that one come out a little bit more. I'm just adding a little bit of texture and a little more contrast over here. Like I say, I might Ted Turner colorize this when it's totally dry. Okay. Definitely has to be totally dry before I do any glazing. All of this will have to be definitely all dry, so I wouldn't be able to, probably might not be able to deal or do anything with it tonight until it's fully dry, which might take, it might take overnight for this one, because, can't run out of white paint here. Because of the amount of glycerin I used. It's the glycerin to paint ratio. All right, this is one of these rare instances I have to sign my name over on the other side. I don't tend to do this. Oh wow, it's the last month of the year. All right, once I'm done with this one, I have a giant commission to do. It's going to be 24 by 36, something like that. Anyway, this board has to come off. I have to paint a fish. That one will definitely take a few days to do. I have to paint a giant tuna, coming half in the water, half out the water. Yeah. So that's definitely a first. Okay. This one is more or less this is more or less finished. Even though the colors, now, believe it or not, these are all variances of gray, warm gray, cool gray. And once again, you got the basic here in the front. You got our basic neutral black and white. This is orange and blue. And then you got violet and yellow. So you got three different complementary, well, two complementary colors. Okay, I used the two of the three. I didn't use green and red. Okay. But when it's totally dry, like I said, I can't do anything with it right now. But when it's totally dry, I might Ted Turner colorize this thing, so you can see exactly what, you know, the change that will happen with it. I guess, even though technically it's not really done, well, I can take a picture of it when I'll take my picture off of here and take the bottom picture off also, so you guys can see truly what it looks like, because you're not looking at it the true dimensions of it, because I got everything. This is compacted because of these guys up here. All right, so let's get rid of that guy, and we'll get rid of the other one. There, we'll do that. All right, but that's what That's what it looks like in its true dimensions. Okay, spread out and everything. All right, I adjusted the color. Once again, if I put some rocks in here, particularly in the water, what would happen is that the water level would just drop, especially if I put rocks like in here and in here. All right, right now it looks pretty much like an ocean, but it'll start looking like a little lake or something. If I start putting rocks all over the place, it just drops the water level down. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'll paint it live. Like I said, if it's dry later on this evening, because it's only 5:45, then I'll paint it later on this evening. It all depends on how dry this is. We'll see, because it's still wet down here, still wet here, across here, still wet. It has to totally be dry for me to do it. So I'll just keep the tape on it. No, I won't. I'm gonna take this tape off. I have to use new tape, because once I start going across it with glycerin, it's going to bleed into the it's going to bleed into the painting, and that also is bad for business. So let me I'll just take this tape off now. I'll just put another batch of tape on here when I get ready to do it again. Once again, this is 11 by I think it's 11 by 16, or not 11, I'm sorry, it's 12 by 16. Not 11, it's 12 by 16, I think. You figure I would know. Let me turn it this way so I can see what the heck I'm looking at. Yeah, it is 12 by 16, I believe. Yep, it's 12 by 16. So, and for those who are wondering, it's a flat ruler. Yes, I taped dimes to it, so when I do put it on there, it doesn't smudge or anything when I do lines across it. But yeah, that's why I have little dimes on there. Okay, so you know, if anybody needs 40 cents, now you know where it is. All right. Yeah, I did say salmon. It's not that. It's a giant tuna, yellowfin tuna, I believe. Anyway, it's one of the giant 500 to 800 pound guys. I gotta, yeah. I'll more than likely paint it live. Once again, I have to situate this room probably a little bit when I do something like that. It's definitely going to take more than one day. What I'll do probably is sketch in the fish and tape it. The fish more than likely will be last to do. I have to do the water first. That's basically what he wants, is a giant fish coming in and half out the water. So I gotta paint waves on the bottom, or you know, above. Then I can paint the crap underneath. For something that's such a simple subject, the fish and the water, the bubbles and stuff churning around, that has to be in detail. So it's going to take a little bit. So. Yeah, Sugar Plum, it'll be live. Yeah, it'll definitely be live. But thank you guys for coming by and watching this. Like I say, if it does totally dry, then later on this evening, because like I say, it's going on 6 now, I would presume maybe by 8 or a little after that, it'll be, it should technically be ready. And it's just me glazing on colors. You know, much like the last painting I did, just glaze on color. That was a very short video too when I glazed the color. I think it was less than, maybe a little over 30 minutes. Because it was me running my mouth and doing the color. I'm scraping off the paint off my palette here. I will spare you guys that. It doesn't take long to, I just use, you can use, that's a glass palette, you can use Windex. I just use rubbing alcohol, so my little area smells like a hospital bed, but it's alright, it's only temporary. You know, so, and a little bit of a little paper towel, and board looks like it's never been touched. So, yeah. Very easy cleanup for this. You know, so we'll see what happens, guys. I usually, if I keep the heater on, she dries fairly quickly. All of it, the glycerin, everything. So, and that's how I'm able to usually come back in a couple hours and just finish off the painting. So, yeah. And I usually do a couple paintings before I end up tackling a commission, because I know a commission to take me a few days, depending how detailed it is. So I usually knock off a painting like this or something like that before I do the other thing. All right, enough, guys. Thank you very much. Let me click out of this thing here. I shall see you when I see you. You have a good evening, Diana. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, I might have to move this this drawing board back. Maybe. I have to see once I take this backing off and put the actual canvas on there. It is a full canvas. So, yeah, we'll see. So I'll check it out before I do it. Then once I do it, I do it. All right, guys. I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.